Thanks for kicking it with Kesey. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Also found at the X Squad radio app. Yeah, so we got a nice panel here. We're talking working remotely today. We're working remotely, like how I say that. We're working remotely today. Got a nice panel of working remote all-stars here. And we're basically going to really get into it. I'm going to go ahead and say who you are, and then I'll let y'all introduce yourselves here. But first off, in the upper left corner here, we've got my niece, Miss Deasia Mcnish. And we got myself in the upper right corner if you haven't seen me before. We got my man, the Travelmadics, actually representing here down where you were on the bottom left, but now on the bottom right. We got the Travelmadics here representing. Go ahead and check him out on YouTube. I'll let him go ahead and talk about that when he introduces himself. And then we got my man, everybody loves, my man Kevin, aka Rough Buff, for you folks in the X and podcast listeners. Y'all know who it is. So anyway,
what's going on?
Yes. All right, so we'll go ahead and start off a little bit. What's going on? Deasia, tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what type of work you're doing.
Okay, Deasia Mcnish. I go by Asia. I work in vendor management and construction, and I'm from Rochester, New York, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. All right, that sounds awesome. All right, we'll go with you, Travelmadics, next.
What's going on? Oh, can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, my name is Adrian. I have a YouTube channel by the name of Travelmadics. It is about 3 years in the making. It's about, talking about my travels abroad, South America, Latin America, Caribbean, Europe. That's where the travel part comes from. Then the matic part comes from nomadic lifestyle. So it was Travelmatic. That's how I came up with the word. And with that, my trade or skill set is a business analyst in project management, data management, migration, databases, and all that stuff. From a business analyst, and then I've become a Scrum Master now, which is a role within an agile methodology. And so with that, I work contractual, and I wanted to expound on my YouTube with talking about remote work. And so that's why I came up with these live streams with my friend Tiffany. Sports and Heels is her alias name. And we talk about just all remote working, digital nomads, how to get into it, how to transfer your skills from a role where you may be in a cubicle, like I was on the phones 10 years ago. And I kind of self-taught my way and kind of had a few helping hands to get to IT project management. And then the rest was history. So I'm just trying to, pay it back and helping someone with that as well. That's it.
All right, cool. All right, you, Buff.
Man, what's going on, fellas and young lady? My name is Kevin, originally from Buffalo. I've been in IT since day one out of college. Started out with the Y2K. The world was about to end because we had to change them 2-digit codes to a 4-digit for the year. Right. Quickly transitioned into data. Right now, I'm currently an ETL developer / data warehouse engineer. Basically, move data from different sources, target to source. Been doing it for a long time. Just found my niche in the market, and been pimping the keyboard ever since.
Awesome. Yes. So let's break it down here. well, I give a little bit of myself because we're also part of the work remote panel as well. Y'all know who I am, kicking the KC show, KC NIT over 20 years. I think I've worked remote on and off, as a job. Asked, what I'm saying, like, hey, you can work remotely, a couple days a week, etc. But things got good when COVID hit, and from that point, I don't think I've been in the office ever since. So that's been good. That might have been 3, 4, 5 jobs ago. You know what I mean? Because the opportunities have been plentiful. So I went and found a job to another job to another job. Not to say that I'm a job hopper, but the opportunities were there. So first question, let me hear how remote started for you guys. I mean, somebody can go first and tell me, what happened and how you got in.
I can go ahead. For me, I've been working remotely prior to Y2K. Excuse me, prior to COVID. 2-3 days a week. Once you get to a position, you establish yourself, and that's something I was used to. But once COVID hit, it is pretty much like you said. I'll never go back to nobody's office. Some days are gone.
They're gone, huh?
Yeah, out the window.
All right, who's next? Tell me when you started. I guess
Go.
Deasia.
Yeah, I can go. My first work from home experience happened during COVID. My company went remote, and I ended up really liking it a lot. Did that for quite a few months. And then I went back into the office with 2 different companies since then. And then I started working remote again last summer. And I've been working remote ever since. And I don't think I ever want to go back. Although I do miss the office sometimes. I do. But otherwise, I really enjoy working from home. And, it's nice. It's very freeing.
All right, you Travelmatic?
All right, can you hear me? I had to switch it up and go on my mobile.
Oh yeah, we
Hear me
we,
pretty good?
we hear you. Sound great.
Okay. Wow. Well, since the pandemic, actually, I was. I can't really say type of pandemic. Maybe like 10 years ago, I was working at Sprint Excel, and I moved to a department where we went fully remote. Uh, then I got laid off from that, and that actually kind of pushed me into that project management industry.
Mm-hmm.
But during the pandemic, I was working on a contract where I was hybrid.
Okay.
And then when that happened, when with the world shut down, that's when I actually got laid off from the contract. And then any contract from that point on, I became remote. So yeah, so I've been a big advocate for the remote work since then.
All right, and then Rough Buff said something, so I want to hear from Deasia and you Travelmatic. Rough Buff said he can't go back into the office. He's like that's not gonna happen. And Deasia, you said you kind of miss the office. So let me hear y'all's thoughts on not going back to the office, as opposed to missing the office. And there's some elements in the office that you do miss. What's your thoughts there?
I definitely miss quite a few elements. I miss the personal connection aspect. I miss the getting out of the house portion. But I really enjoy the freedom that I have now and the ability that I've created to have multiple streams of income,
Mm-hmm.
which I wouldn't have if I ever returned back to the office. So it's a good, it's kind of 50-50. I don't think I'll ever go back into the office because it's just too much money to be made. And working in the office, it's a lot harder. It's, you really have to focus on that. So I would say it's I might do a hybrid, but I don't think I really would. If there was a work from home opportunity, I'd likely choose that every time.
Okay. All right.
Mm,
Go ahead.
yeah. You know what? It's funny. Asia brought up the hybrid mode,
Mm-hmm.
and I always said that hybrid is a trap. It's a straight out trap because I had hybrid, and that's how they want to lure people back into the office with the hybrid.
Okay.
But the hybrid is ultimately going to be a trap because it was a trap even when before the pandemic. Because if most of the teams you're working on, very rarely like you work on a campus, maybe like a corporate campus, and everybody's there,
Yes.
where you can all get in a meeting room and talk or whatever. And
Yes.
those usually don't happen because there's too many people to put in one room anyway, and it never really works. So you got some people in another room. So it's always been a sense of virtual, for your communication with your peers, stakeholders, or whatever. So there's always been that level of promotion to go remote, but it never really went that way. But with COVID, pushed it. It pushed it that way like tremendously because it was already going there. We was already kind of virtual,
Right.
you know. And so with that, people they're trying to use the same trap before to get us back in office. Oh, we offer hybrid. So you go in the office. I did Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As a business analyst, sometimes I have to meet with certain people, and that was the biggest part of like being remote fully is like I don't have that ability to kind of get to a whiteboard, draw out some diagrams. If I'm like rough, I'm drawing a source table to a target table, drawing it out how it's going to be modeled and everything. That was just easy peasy back then to do it that way. Now you have to kind of do a PowerPoint presentation slide. You got to kind of do your video. So it's a little bit more work,
A little more work.
but I adapted to it. But that used to be the comfort parts of it. But sometimes you can't really gather all those people in a room, so you're doing a virtual thing. So if I'm gonna meet with somebody on Thursday, oh, they're not in the office. Oh, well, we can get on the call. I could have took the call from the house. You know, so we're not gonna never really be on the same path. So I always promote either you're gonna be in the office full time, all the time, or not at all. So that's my stance on that.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense fully. Something that you said that's interesting because I sit here and think about it. So I was in, I guess, Cox Enterprises when we first went remote when COVID first hit, and I think about it. They had two big buildings, probably 20 floors each. It might be three buildings. I don't remember how big Cox's campus is, but okay. So you're emptying that building. Then I think about the wife's job. She was at Kimberly Clark. They had a whole campus too with different buildings, and now no one's in the real estate here. You know what I'm saying? So, so when you say a hybrid, just like you said, it's a test. Like, okay, if y'all come up in this office, then yeah, I think we can go ahead and fill this place back up.
Right,
Yeah, that
right,
is
right.
interesting
See,
perspective. I didn't think about that.
but see, bigger companies gonna want you to come in because they don't they they have a brick and mortar that's there. They're not renting a building. They're not those divisions that may rent a building. They may let it be a manager discretion where they're gonna go remote. But like those big ones, like your Deltas, your Cox, they got a big old pretty campus that they want to sell you on, and sometimes they use that to shorten you. Why they gonna short you on your money? Like,
With
oh, we
amenities,
can't get you,
right?
we can't get you the extra $10 an hour, but we have on-site daycare. We have a gym.
Yep.
Like, I don't want that. Well, I want my $10 extra.
Right, right,
They just,
exactly.
that's part of the sham. I want to call it a sham. They want to upsell that to nickel and dime you on why they can't pay you more. And they pay for the building. They have this big building and they want it to be feasible and we sit and we go on lunch together and we sit around the water cooler and talk about certain things and it's a lot with these white people. It's a lot about their own little playground away from home, and I'm just
Yes,
done with it.
yes, yes, yes. What's your thoughts on it? You got any thoughts on that, Buff? I think Buff is muted. All right,
I'm sorry, I was muted.
yeah,
I was social distancing before social distancing was a such thing. I don't like the office politics. I don't need to be micromanaged. One thing about working from home, your work dictates who you are. If you're doing the job and your work is good, hey, I give me my assignment. I'm good to go. We got meetings. I ain't got to worry about nobody being in the office between Teams, WebEx, and what we on now. Zoom, that's the best invention that happened. So at this point, what I do, I don't need to interact with nobody. I just need my requirements and let me go to work and give me my deadlines, and I'm ready to go. So
and that's
but I was saying that then sometimes I'm in a support role at night, so I may have to log on and make some adjustments online. So you think I'm gonna go into the office the next morning after I've been up a couple hours, the night before?
right,
So
right.
you gotta look at it from that point of view.
And people and companies fear the whole thing of why they really didn't do this whole thing is because they had a fear of productivity, non-productivity. You know what I mean? They think people ain't gonna do nothing when they get home. You know what I mean? And a lot of people say they do a lot more work. You know what I mean?
You
Being at the
do,
house.
you do.
Break it down. Let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I know I'm on the line right now as we speak. It's 8:00. So if I was in the office, they wouldn't get this work done. So I'm actually doing something. I had a couple alerts go off. So you get more out of me, and then I ain't got to travel. Uh, I don't have to worry about going on lunch break because I know people like to get out the house, but I got my ways of taking advantage of that. So it's just a matter of being accountable and being responsible and making sure that you don't get behind in your assignments. And as long as you do that, man, shoot, you got as much freedom as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a happy trade-off.
Yeah.
Definitely a happy trade-off.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You got any thoughts on productivity in the office versus out of the office, Deja?
I would say that my productivity went up when I first started working from home. Well, I would say it went down. Sorry, it went down when I first started working from home. I personally thought that there was a difference, when you feel like somebody has eyes on you versus when you feel like no one has eyes on you. But in the end, I still got the same amount of projects done. I never missed a deadline. Any of the things that I would see that the company would worry about never really affected me personally. But I noticed that I didn't really need to be sitting at my desk 8 hours a day to get things done. So that I would say would be the big thing. So it seems I would say no to productivity being decreased, but hours worked definitely. I'm not sitting here 8 hours straight as I would if I was in an office because that's a requirement. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a it's a win-win. I do a lot of work throughout the day. I can do two really, really, really good hours. And then I can have like a 20-minute, where I can just decompress and kind of move away. And I feel like those kind of moments you can't really do when you work in an office. So
Mm-hmm.
You definitely get your good nap in every now and then. Get tired.
right, like if I didn't sleep well that night, I can take an hour and a half to 2 hours and take me a good nap and wake up so much more rested. I can leave for the gym when I need to, and I'm not like trying to navigate all that. And I can go get lunch if I want to and things like that. It's a good opportunity to it is.
So Roma, aka X Squad's Mocha Bella, is in the chat room here on Facebook. She says, "So y'all don't miss holiday parties and interacting with coworkers." So
Man, I'm antisocial, and most of my and most of, in IT, most of the people you deal with are antisocial. You got some weirdos in our industry, so they're
Yeah,
not the
you do.
most. You ain't. They're not the most interactive people to deal with. Like I said, I ain't got to deal with no office politics. I'm not chasing no corporate ladder. I'm getting my money coming through the door. Y'all gonna pay me what I want, or it's a no deal. So I'm not trying to impress nobody. I want my check to hit my account. I want to be able to do what I have to do to secure my financial responsibilities, and I'm going about my business. It's just that simple. It's a win-win for everybody on my end.
I'm a
Yeah.
social butterfly. I miss the interaction so much. I really do. I've met a lot of people throughout my career, and the relationship building portion of it is you can't do it over Skype and Teams and
Yeah.
Slack, and so
Yeah. And I wanna piggyback off of Asia. My first, my second live I did was with my cousin Michelle, and she helped me to understand or get out my own shoes or get out my own way of thinking. And there are some people like I'm a social butterfly as well too, but I don't have to always talk with people at work. I can leave and go to my boy's house, or I can go to the bar up the street, or I can get that interaction. But sometimes, like if you're a single parent she has a single parent with two boys, and her disconnect was leaving the house. She wasn't able to leave. Like some people can't work in the house and still disconnect from the house. If you're in the house, I may go and cook me something. I may go and vacuum. I may go and do this. And something I've learned to not to actually break that off. I used to do it. I still do it, but that may push me later on into the day where I may be working on something at 8 o'clock at night because I didn't disconnect. But she is such a motherly mother to where she's checking on the kids. She's making the food before they come back home from school, and she's constantly doing that. And some people just can't disconnect from that. And I said sometimes some people miss their work wife or their work husband, and they want to go to work and kick it with them.
I'm some people.
See that you want to go ahead and have some lunch with your work husband and come back to your regular husband. It helps. But see, you know what I'm saying though. It helped. It helped the situation out. It's some people that was mad they had to go home to their real wife when COVID hit.
Right.
Some people got divorced. Somebody like, I got to go home and get home I got to be home with her all day. Man, we're going to go ahead and get this divorce done because it's about time.
Yeah.
I
miss work relationships. I really do. It's nothing like going to the bar and get drinks after work. I can't do that with anyone. I can't go get lunch with anybody. The person I eat lunch with is like me or like my best friend Nia, and that's just because she's my roommate. And it's like I can't. I'm having trouble separating this is my work, this is my room at the same time kind of thing. Like, but that, that's just me. That's the only complaint that I will have is working in here and living in here. I do find myself going a little stir crazy. I wish that there was somewhere I could go where I could put on some earrings, do my hair, get a little cute. I do miss that. Sometimes I just get cute in the morning and I just sit here and I just, all my coworkers can see is my shoulders, so it doesn't really, I'm a girl, I'm young, I'm a woman, sorry, I'm a woman, I'm a professional. I want to I spend money on clothes, but they sit in the closet. So, I haven't built a new relationship with anyone in, God knows how long, because, going out and doing that is super hard nowadays. Everyone's wearing masks and everyone's just trying to get from point A to point B. And so I do miss the easiness of relationship building when you see somebody every day and that, so that's my only thing.
I am the total opposite. I don't deal with these work folks. Y'all my coworkers. I ain't trying to be your friend. Hey, I don't want you in my business. Don't be asking me where I'm going. But I work with many different cultures, so there's just we got different interests. So I'm the total opposite. I don't like dealing with the traffic, getting caught on 285. I did that for years moving to Atlanta, and the house. Look, I got my area. If I need to get out, trust me, I get out the house. Everybody know what my hobbies are, so that's not an issue at all. And I got enough friends outside of work where I ain't got to worry about friends at work. I promise. So I guess that's where we differ. Right. It worked for me, but different strokes for different folks.
Got to give a shout out to DJ Tony Sanchez, Mo Cheese from the X Squad, and Jelani from the X Squad in the Facebook chat. I have a question. Y'all kind of touched on it a little bit, and that was how do you deal with distractions? So y'all hit a little bit of it, but I really want to know like all the other distractions. Okay, you got a guy cutting grass in the yard. You got kids. Somebody got kids running around like, Dad. You know what I mean? Well, some of y'all might have the kids. You got that. You got, you know what I mean? You got, I don't know, sleepy. Hungry. Whatever it is, it's how you deal with the distractions that come with it. Because there are some distractions, and you kind of gotta levy them off a little bit to stay productive.
I found out it's more distraction of the people that I'm dealing with more than in myself, because I can create my private space where I'm at. But I have been in Zoom calls where they gotta shut the sound off because the lawnmower guy is outside, or or the kids running through there. So fortunately, I haven't had that problem on my end. I have my designated area for where I work at. But as far as everything else, like I said, I'm cool. I don't, in the wintertime though, when it get dark early, that's when I do find myself wanting to get out the house and do something because you wake up before you know, like 6 o'clock, you may be working 5 o'clock. It's starting to get dark outside, so that's when I find myself making an excuse to go to the grocery store or doing something just to get me occupied, to get out, going out to eat or something.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Alice G in the chat room. I see you in Facebook. She said, "Put them on your schedule." Yes. That's a major thing is organization. You know what I mean? You know, I was never a big person looking at the calendar. You know what I mean? You're there in the office and it's like, boom, you're gonna be in all the meetings because your coworkers are there, and they're like, hey, you joining the call, whatever. A lot of times your meetings might be in a conference room, so now everything is straight Zoom and remote. So I have to pay attention to the calendar a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I don't miss any meetings.
Yes.
It was a struggle in the beginning, missing the meeting. Like, damn, I just missed the meeting. And I'm coming in 9 minutes later, 15 minutes later, whatever. I've done that before because like, okay, I ain't gonna miss the meeting. But then you know what I mean? It's like you gotta say, okay, I gotta do better. So you gotta do better in organization.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I've never missed a meeting due to not knowing that the meeting was coming, but working overlapping jobs, I have found myself missing meetings like the first 10 minutes because a call has gone over time. So that has happened, but that I guess that would be semi out of my control. But I'm grateful that I do have, like, I'm always looking, paying attention to my phone. I have the notification set up through different softwares, and things are just pinging me every time I have a meeting, 15 minutes, 1 minute. So I don't have any organization problems when it comes to meetings. So that's good. But I will say I do get a little distracted throughout the day. But I've starting my day earlier and I end later, but I get to have that balance of time to myself throughout the day. So that's a thing that I've done for myself. My days do seem a lot longer, but I do get moments where I have my peace during the day versus, trying to work and bust my, can we curse? Bust my ass all day. So,
No, you
bust
my
my ass
niece.
all
You can't do
day,
that.
versus the constant hustle and bustle. I can't do that. I can't do that sitting here working at this desk for 8 hours straight, or 4 hours with lunch in between. I take like 20 minutes, to myself, but I work really, really hard for the 40 minutes that I am working every hour. So I just take my balance. I balance myself, and try not to get too distracted, put my phone away, but phones and notifications, and I am doing a million things at one time. So, and distractions are bound to happen. It's just, overcoming them.
Right.
Mm. Yeah. Distractions. And I think it's probably more like just getting out the house is probably a way to. I mean, I'm thinking of like the kid setting. Like you got kids, you got people over. Co-working space is a good ideal. Or Starbucks. You can go and sit up in Starbucks and people watch and work.
Right.
Um,
Or you can
library.
go to Clubhouse and then towards the end of the day get you some lunch and then tee off. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. Or
Yes.
when you say Clubhouse, I'm
Yeah.
thinking about like I have I'm in an apartment complex and I could go to the leasing office or the
Nah,
Clubhouse. I think.
that was an inside joke for golf. They know I'll be on the golf course
Yeah.
every chance I
Right.
get.
Right.
Yeah. Like it's that like you don't have to be in your house to be working from home, even though it says
No.
work from home. You don't have to be in your house as long as I think of people like you, Rough Buck, that you're a developer. You're kind of in the background or in the cellar. You're kind of off to yourself, which I sometimes be envious of because myself being a business analyst, I'm always like I have to be in the forefront.
In the
I
mix.
always have to be deep in the weeds, and
Right.
I can't really go to a Starbucks because of the sound in the background. I'm like, what's that in the background? So I have to make sure I'm in very secluded areas
Right.
to where I don't set off certain
I'm gonna tell you also, work from home help for me too. Is like you talk about your travel, but shoot, I'm going to Vegas. I could get there on a Wednesday, work Wednesday night, work Thursday. I'm off 3 hours. It's a 3 hour difference. Go hang out, do what I got to do. Work Friday if I don't take off. And I really don't got to take days off. I can still enjoy my wherever I'm going to, and be back. And don't got tons of days to take off. So vacation days and PTOs. So
Right.
that
Right.
Yeah, I definitely stacked
that's
up on
an advantage.
PTO. Yeah, I
That's
definitely
definitely
stacked
an
up on
advantage.
PTO.
And I did a lot of traveling, and I didn't have to take days off. So that's the beauty part about
Beautiful part.
Um,
Yeah.
and see, with mine too, it's a little different because I am a contract worker in project management. So most of the time, contractors don't have PTO. So
Yes.
I had to be a little creative. So with that, um, like I think of the time I went to Puerto Rico in February, March. I went to Puerto Rico for about 8 days and worked all those days. Well, all the weekdays of that trip. Um, and I worked remotely from Puerto Rico. And after like 4 o'clock or so, just went out to some bars, went to Old San Juan. Um, actually, I had a power outage in San Juan, and I went to a co-working space. And shameless plug, there's a video on my channel now about that co-working location.
Okay.
And I had a good time in San Juan. So you got to just be creative with it, and it's so much flexibility in it,
All right.
man. So much.
We got 2 items in the chat. Mocha says Zoom became popular in the pandemic. She said y'all don't get tired of meetings after meetings.
No, not at all.
I do. I don't use the Zoom software at all, but I do get tired of back-to-back meetings, just because but it only happens one day out of the week really that I have meetings like back to back. So like I have like one Wednesday afternoons I'm busy from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So it's like those days, you're sitting here, and for one of my jobs, I have to have camera on. So it's like you have to like really just kind of sit here and really be, in those meetings. And I don't know if it's like, I get distracted very easily. I don't like sitting in anything for 4 hours straight, 4 or 5 hours straight. So sometimes it does get a little exhausting sitting in meetings, especially, when this is not very personal, but it is, but it isn't. So we're all sitting here, in completely different spaces, and it just blurred backgrounds, and it just gets a little weird, and so that's my viewpoint on that. Sometimes, but not all the time. It's usually very.
You made a key point. I think if it's a camera on or camera off type of environment, and I've been fortunate where I don't have to always have my camera on, and that makes a difference in the meeting because you ain't gotta be there and attentive. You can still be multitasking. So that's also key.
Right. Right.
I'd rather do a Zoom meeting than go sit in somebody's conference room.
Oh yeah.
And when somebody's talking that it has nothing to do with you, or they just not making sense, or you don't need it, you just got to act like you're paying attention. That was like a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a job where we never turn on the cameras. I got one of those, and that's awesome.
Same here. It allows you to multitask big time.
Right, and see that's a benefit for the company. That's one up, for the company. So that.
Well, it's a benefit for me because it may be more than one company. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was saying with the back-to-back meetings because.
Gotcha.
When I was, when we in a campus or whatever, I think about the time I was in the campus. I had to go from building to building, and that sometimes takes a little time. To get your stuff, get your laptop, commute to that building back and forth. You don't miss 5-10 minutes of the meeting, and you don't have no reason to really miss a meeting. That meeting stop at 2:59. You got 3 o'clock. You can be right there at 3 o'clock in the next meeting.
Right. In the chat also, Alice G says, I work from home. My favorite phrase for my daughter: don't talk to me if I'm on the phone. She knows that means that you will be on punishment if you come here. So that's how she basically blocks it off. That's awesome. Great strategy there. What's your thoughts for people who, when they work from home, because you got some people, we work for certain corporations and they furnish probably a lot of stuff. But what is the best thing that you find is good for a home setup for working from home? What is needed? You might find like certain chairs or whatever.
Well, I've been the IT guy for a while, so I'm a geek. I had most of the stuff that I already had, so I've always had double screens, or I could put or a docking station for my laptop. But now I go on the big TV. I just plug up to the big 40, 56, whatever my TV is. I'm just plugging up to that. That helps. It's just your comfortability zone. I got a partner who got about 15 monitors, and he got his little setup with his fish tank, whatever. So I think it's to each his own, but as long as you got the double screens, you should be good to go. And you got an area to set up in. You got a nice, comfortable chair, and it's nothing like getting up in the morning working, and you may be in your pajamas taking a meeting, and you haven't even had to worry about going ahead and getting in traffic or interacting, getting beating that morning rush hour. So
Right.
I mean, it's a comfort zone to each their own.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say something you want to look at. And I know that sounds weird. Make your space so comfortable that you don't really want to leave it. I highly recommend a diffuser. It's so random, but I have a desk diffuser and it's just spitting out lemongrass all day. And I really love the way it smells. So it just, promotes happiness. So a diffuser is my suggestion. And I have a whole setup. I have a low lamp, and I have an L-shaped desk because I have 2 setups, and I have the wireless keyboards. I have the mouse pad that is good for your wrist, so you're not getting tired at the end of the day, and little things like that. And then really get a good chair, that's comfy for your butt and your back. So
there you go. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This what you do. This what you do right here. You get Teams and you put it on your phone, and you lay in the bed and you take a lot of messages and IM, and you check your email from your bed.
Yes. Before you even get up. Before you even get up.
Hey, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
I don't get out the bed till probably about 11 o'clock. But I'm online and I'm working and I'm sending out messages on Teams to my analysts and developers. And if they need anything and they're gonna chime in, I may be on Instagram and I see that notification from Teams come down on my phone, I'm gonna immediately go to that and see what they want. And then once I answer that, I'm gonna go back to. But meanwhile I'm leaning back in my bed.
I've done that on many occasions, but I haven't got to bed till about 11.
I have another suggestion, separate from this, but another technological advancement that is just amazing for people who work on where people may be looking at your Slack or your Teams to see if you're busy or not. A mouse mover. It was the best thing I've ever bought, and my mouse is it looks like I'll show it because it's right here. It looks like this. And it just constantly is moving my mouse around all day.
No comment on this.
Yeah, I got to catch up on that one. I don't have that one.
Yeah, I don't know nothing.
You don't have
I got a better one.
You don't have the jiggler? This is it right here.
Yeah.
The jiggler.
Amazon?
Yeah, that's better. Yes.
Amazon.
Like $12.
Investment.
Yeah.
It just
you put it in
your mouse around all day, so you're always online, and that really decreased my headaches.
Now, this is the one thing about the jiggler, though. You have to make sure you take it out when you clock out, when you get offline.
What is a
even
button?
if you put it in, even if you Control Alt Delete with this jiggler, and your screen will lock when you do a Control Alt Delete and lock it. But this thing will keep it on green even though the screen is locked. That's the only thing.
My jiggler has a button. I have a toggle button on my jiggler, so when I press it, it stops. In fact, why did I say I mean, I heard they have a button on. That's what I meant to say. I heard there's a little button on the toggle.
Yo, I'm behind. I'm actually really doing stuff. If I'm not doing stuff, I just leave my screen open. Cause I ain't got nobody.
But we have those type of jobs where a lot of companies have a very quick. Like I work for financial companies, so the timeout is super quick. Like one of mine, you might
Same.
get 2 minutes before it's gonna lock the screen, so you look like you're
Got
away.
you because security purposes, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes you actually right there. You know, you may be,
Man.
let's say you working on a little side hustle and you on your personal laptop, and you could be right there by your computer, and then it just times out. And you're like, oh man, like
Right.
so it's
Exactly.
not
And also,
necessarily
I
all.
got on my phone. I got this Slack. I got all the apps on my phone. So
Yes.
if anything happened, I probably do a lot more off my phone than I do off the laptop, as far as communication part.
So there's an issue there too. I'm gonna go into that in a second. So but Mocha in the chat says, did your company pay for expenses for your computer, or do you have to buy it on your own?
No, they ship it right to your
They pay
house.
for everything,
Ship whatever I
pretty much.
need.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
I've even seen jobs pay for chairs before. You know what I mean? So
Desks and chairs, yeah.
Whatever you request, especially during the COVID, that was the time to get whatever you wanted. They pretty much they gave it all because they wanted productivity to pretty much not go down.
right.
Yeah. It was pretty different. I had one company, they shipped me everything I needed for the setup. And then the other one, I had to go purchase everything I needed outside of the laptop. But laptop, I would say, you're always going to get a laptop. The screens, some companies will pay for them. Some companies, like I had to buy a second screen just because they took forever. And I had 3 screens, and now I have 2 per company. But usually everything is pretty much covered. Sometimes you have to pay for it and then get reimbursed. But, other than that, not a problem. Not equipment.
And here's a good question here now. We're here. We're at the house. You know what I mean? Sometimes you sit too long. You know, I swear I get butt problems now because I guess I done sat too damn long. My chair ain't the best. You know what I mean? It's okay, but it ain't, the best. I'm like, damn, I ain't never had pain in my ass, you know what I'm saying? Since working at home now, because it's like, I guess because I'm sitting, not on those great chairs, I'm on okay chairs, and then the wife's like, I don't get up frequent enough. So my next question is exercise. What are y'all doing to keep yourself from catching the work at home 15 or work at home 30 or however many pounds they say you're supposed to be putting on?
Well, I'm a checklist guy, so I know what I have to do for my job. I know if I have to wash clothes or do some errands in the house, I got a checklist there. But like I said, I'm at the position now where I can go and log on at the clubhouse. Once I log off my last meeting for the day, I'm hitting the course. So I'm getting my golf in. So that's pretty much how I get around doing my exercise. I promise you, I'm not confined to the house if I don't have to be. But I think that's I guess a situation on you, Kesey. How confined are you to the house when you log it on?
Right.
So when I got my book bag and I'm out the house, I got 2 laptops in there, and that's my life.
You're rolling with the 2 laptops.
That's how I've been moving and shaking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm moving and shaking.
Yep. Well,
I go to the gym.
Okay.
I just go to the gym. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know me, but I go to a group gym, which is very nice.
Yeah.
And I started doing that in December. Yeah, December. And before that, it was, I would not leave the house all day. My productivity was really low. I gained quite a bit of weight. It's much different than it was when I worked in the office. The gym, like you guys stated earlier, like the companies usually give you a gym. The gym wasn't as accessible, but I found a really cool class near my house. And that is my thing that I do to get out of the house. So that's what I do. So.
Yeah, I actually just go. I was outside earlier today. Just running around the neighborhood, jogging a little bit, about a mile or so, and just to break a sweat. And I am starting to do more workouts in the daytime, like around lunchtime. I can go to this. It's called Hot Works. It's like a sauna workout place.
Okay.
When you work out in like these saunas, and so I'm starting to try to do that more in the day. Because at night I do it when I leave work or log off, and I usually just, I'll be up doing stuff till 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I really need to get back to sleeping the right time. Because before I used to have to, be to work at 8:30, so I would have to get up at like 6. So, I used to always push to go to sleep early, But now I don't be pushing to go to sleep early. But I need to get
Right.
back to getting my sleep.
Right.
Like 6 to 8 hours.
Hey, to piggyback on that, that's what I don't do. Now, by me working from home, I'm up all times of the night, so I know I can catch up during the day sometimes.
I
Yeah.
I'm hitting Monday through Thursday at the gym as well. I never was a going to the gym person. We started at the top of January, so now I'm 6 months plus going to the gym every day. So I feel a lot better. You know what I mean? I feel great. You know what I'm saying? The workout's been great. And then the other thing is, you never drink enough water. You're supposed to be drinking enough water. And I want to show y'all what I just got this week. My boy Frank had put me onto this thing, and it's basically a big jug that has the time. Like, you should be to this certain level at 9 o'clock. You should be at this level, 10 o'clock, this level, 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? So it's got little notches with times on it. So right now, I got to go to the restroom. You got one of those too?
Yeah, look.
Yep, there you go. So me and your aunt, hers is exactly your color too. So me and your aunt actually.
Yeah. I pour it in this one. So
Yes.
like, I don't really like to, so I have 2 cups, but I know that I'll have a gallon because I pour that in this, because you really don't drink enough water, especially when you're at home and juice is so close. So I had to like break away from juice and soda, and now I'm back on like my water thing, and not back on it, but that's definitely a big thing to point out is drinking water, because it's so important. It's so important. It's so important. I'm going to repeat that like 4 times. It's so important, guys, to drink your water. So yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah. Morgan said, do y'all wear eyeglasses because of the strain on the computer?
Oh, yeah.
Like, has it been strain on your eyes working? And I don't know. It might.
Yeah.
Hell, it might be.
For me, my prescription changed since I had to really go change my glasses. So I was I don't wear them like I should, but it did change my eyesight.
Your boy over here like this with reading glasses now, because I had eye surgery 2 years ago. Then I had the other eye done. I had old man cataracts, so the cataracts is gone now.
You got the built-in bifocal,
Well,
not the line one, but the new one. What they call the progressive.
no, my real glasses are bifocals. The ones that if I take my contacts off, they are bifocal. These right here are reading glasses, because I got contacts, so it's like they made it where I can see far away real good, but then close up, whatever. So whatever it is, I gotta wear these damn glasses if the words are too small. So on my screen, I got some big ass fonts right now, so I can see. You know what I mean? This monitor is about this monitor is about a 36-inch or something. I don't know. It's a pretty big monitor. So when I'm on my laptop and I'm not double screening, it's like, shoot, I'm throwing those glasses on when I really gotta see something. I mean, so
yeah.
Can I ask this question from a financial standpoint? How much money you saving working from home?
Woo, a good bit.
And the reason I say that because when I was in the office, I'm a guy going out to lunch, and I didn't have no, budget wise. I just whatever I want, I'm getting. So I mean, it was just I find myself I'm making sandwiches or doing something. I got stuff left over or things like that. So I know, and then gas alone, especially in today's time, saving a bunch of money.
Man, Atlanta Metro, just like Travelmadics said, man, you easily, because most people live far out. You know what I mean? Now they're not in the city, and most of the IT jobs were either downtown, Alpharetta, or the perimeter or something, and you're out. Yep, and so you got an hour drive most of the time. So it's an hour, probably in the morning, 2 hours or hour and a half coming back. So you saving gas for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely save on gas. I save on food for sure, because I'm not eating out every day. But I still eat out now a good bit, just because I'm working so much. I can't really sometimes stop to cook or make a sandwich. But I definitely don't spend half as much as I did before. I don't go to the bar after work, as I said, with coworkers. I save a ton of money. I don't drive as much. The only place I go is the gym or a family member or friend's house, and it's not that far. So I would say I'm definitely saving a good bit of money working from home. Good bit of money.
Yeah, same.
And Alice G in the chat says, get the blue prescription lenses made for computer screens. I guess they got some.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, the blue light glasses. You can get those. If you don't wear glasses, or if you wear contacts, you can wear the blue light glasses. If you wear glasses, you can't wear the blue light glasses, because can't put them over your glasses. But they definitely help, especially if you have migraines like me. I don't get them as much anymore when I wear the blue light glasses. These are my regular glasses, but normally I wear the blue light glasses.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I actually heard an article. I read an article about that same concept or thinking of some of these businesses while they're trying to promote people coming back into the office, because you had the people that went to the bars or went to lunch, with 10 of their coworkers, and that's not happening anymore. So those little businesses that were in like your downtown Atlanta, they're being impacted, but I could care less about that. Because, you're eventually going to eat out somewhere,
Yeah.
So, but it just may not be the little place I used to go to downtown or something when I was working downtown.
Well, and you have to factor in too, since COVID, a lot of places people aren't going out to eat because they understaffed, and then with Uber Eats and Grubhub and all that, man, we're not in the same times we were pre-COVID,
Right.
Right.
Because my thing is customer service. I ain't going to a restaurant. I got to sit there. You got a long line. You waiting. You got 15 tables open. Maybe 5 of them filled, but because you understaffed, that's just me personally.
That's true. That's
Right.
true. I want you Travelmatic to, because you got a whole YouTube channel in regards to working remotely. That's, your whole basis, and a lot of it you're interviewing folks that are international, some folks in Brazil and all these other places. Tell me elaborate a little bit more on working remotely and the freedom of travel. Give me a little bit of that.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to kind of promote. There actually is I want to promote it the right way. When I say the right way, a lot of TikTok, YouTubers, Instagram content creators, they're promoting this, transfer your skills and work anywhere in the world. You can do that, but there's a big asterisk beside that. Because one, about 70% of the companies that you would work for in the U.S., you can't work abroad. I kind of cheated a little bit with working in Puerto Rico because it's a U.S. province. So it is still within a U.S. IP. It's a U.S. IP address.
Okay.
So that's
But
how you kind of.
the workaround behind that is you have a good VPN.
Yes. So that was my good segue there. You can't, but I don't promote that because if you get caught up with that, that could be your butt. So I always try to not say that. If they say, "Hey, I want to go and work," well, how are these people working over here in Colombia, or whatever? And I'll tell them more than likely they're using a VPN, because even if they don't ask or they try to sneak, because they have a Colombian IP address that they're going to be using that hotel or the Airbnb, will hit that firewall, and it's usually like blacklisted because it's it's not a US IP address.
Right.
And so that's when they try to log in, they think they can just I can work, and it's not going to work. And then they got to call in the help desk and whatever, and they be like, "Well, we see you call, you trying to get in from a Colombian IP address, and they say you got caught up and all that." So I try to say that it's still great places in the U.S. that you can work. Like you said, going to Las Vegas. You can go to New York. I took my daughter to California for spring break, worked a few days from there, and didn't skip a beat. But there are ways to get around with using the VPN, and all VPNs are not made the same. So you need to do your research. Actually, the routers, because you have to understand that your actual company laptop will more than likely have a VPN installed on it. So how do you get that VPN that's already installed on that to connect to another VPN? You need a VPN router. So shout out to the guy, Jay Clyde, for breaking that down to me.
That's good stuff right there.
So yeah, so I'm actually gonna take that little approach very soon, um, and see and test it out, test the waters out on that.
so
So that's gonna be interesting.
so
But I've been seeing also with my phone, like I've been in Colombia, Mexico, and the teams has worked well from Colombia, from Mexico, from Dominican Republic. Um, but to get those systems, to get onto your like if I work on certain platforms like Palantir and um, your Tableau, your Salesforces, you will not be able to get onto those platforms if you're not within a US IP address.
yes. All right. So another thing that I want to kind of talk about here or discuss was, and let me see, I'm trying to get it on the screen here. Let me see. I see you guys are seeing it. 1 second. Can I get this? Figure it out. Let me put it on another thing. But basically, there's a lot of people who are tuned in here who are interested in, work from home opportunities, and that's the main thing that we speak about. And Travelmadics, you speak about it a lot on your show. And before we go, I just wanted to drop. I got a list, and it's kind of old. You know what I mean? I saw it was like probably right when COVID started, but there's a list, and I actually will put it on the Kicking It with Kesey Facebook wall. But of people interested in work from home. How can I work from home? What kind of jobs out there? And there's so many. I ain't going through the whole list because I got like A to Z here. But I mean, you got places like Amazon, Aetna, Apple, CVS, Domino's, Grubhub, Instacart. You know that already. Kroger, Publix, Walgreens, Xerox, Zoom. So all those things, Williams Sonoma, all these things are different lists, and it's probably working customer service, you know what I mean, from the house.
And that's what I was going to say, Kesey. Some of these work from home jobs that popped up, they're not the most profitable, but they give you the freedom.
Right. Exactly. They'll give you the freedom to, and it may make sense because, all right, say one of these jobs are $13, $14 an hour, right? And you're going in the office making $20 an hour, right? But you're having to drive, spend gas, eat lunch, pay for dry cleaning, clothes, all that stuff. You know what I mean? It might make sense in the end, taking that cut. I don't know. That's my thoughts. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, I know you speak about a lot, Travelmatic, in regards to a lot of these opportunities and things.
Yes. Well, what I try to use my show for is to help people transfer this. It's a lot of people, and I talk about this in the Black space because they're like, some of them are customer service jobs, right? Mm-hmm. But then some of them are IT. A good bit of them are IT. So how can I get into that IT? How can I transfer my skills? How can I transfer being a desk phone operator, help desk, dedicated support, a sales rep? How can I take those skills and transfer them to where I can get a business analyst position or whatever? So
right.
I'm helping people doing with that transformation, but because they're or even if you go the route of it all depends on the situation. Let's say if you're working abroad,
yeah,
you can a $13 hour job, $15 hour job, you can live like a king in Colombia, Mexico, Brazil. Get you a VPN, or some of those companies actually will let you work remotely. It all depends on your people. So you can work like. And then you don't have to work that many hours sometimes. Sometimes that's part-time work for $13, $15 an hour. $1,200 to $1,500 in any of those countries, Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, you can live like you're living in Buckhead, Atlanta.
Wow.
Yes, you can have a modern one-bedroom apartment in Colombia for $400 a month. in DR, a modern apartment with hot water, security gate.
DR $5,000 a month. You living like a king because I thought about going there, and you got butler maid. You got but it just
Yeah,
once you get over there, you have to deal with that government, so you got to be careful.
Oh,
So
they
you got
looking
to
at your
pay
money.
utilities, all that included.
Yeah,
Utilities,
yeah,
all that. It's a
all
lot of
included.
people that are working over there. Some people have not even renewed their lease and moved abroad and just, what the thing is, you can only stay mostly 60 to 90 days in those countries. I have a lot of my travel friends that are bouncing around from DR to Colombia to Brazil and, spending no more than about 600 a month
Wow,
in utilities and rent. Yeah.
that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy, man. Woo, that's. I mean, I'm thinking of all the madness we have in this country. Like, I'm thinking. I always think about my next move. Like, shoot, some point I might want to make that move too. You know what I mean?
Right.
I thought about the DR, but like I said, once you get over there, you got to deal with their government. But $5,000 a month, you can have a nice piece of property, gated, like I said, butler maid and all that. But because that's a third world country.
Yeah.
But then you got to deal with the government on the other side.
Hey, man. Hey, I want to thank y'all. Y'all definitely came in and blessed us with all kind of great information here. Like I said, there's work from home jobs I'm gonna put in the Kicking It with Kesey page, also X Squad page. Listen, I'll let y'all give your last words here. You know what I mean? Let's your last little message. You know what I mean that you might want to share, or you can just say,
Uh,
thank you, good night.
I was gonna say with those jobs,
Yeah.
they come and they go. The best way to actually go and find them, LinkedIn is really good. You when it says like the area, you could just put in remote, or you could just say the type of job. You could just put in remote analyst, remote um, developer, remote coordinator, and all of it'll come up. It's still a search engine. LinkedIn, Indeed, I think for IT people, Monster, Dice
Yep.
uh, is really good for IT professionals, and LinkedIn as well. So,
Yep.
and subscribe to the channel. The name right here on the bottom, Travelmadics, and have a lot of great videos of Colombia, Brazil, Spain, um, Dominican Republic, Cuba, um, all over the place, man. We're going even more places this year.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what said his last comment from Alice G says, do not sleep on working from home. I just found out today in Florida that some companies will pay over $20 plus for remote jobs with temporary to permanent companies. Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And the same thing with me. I have probably now 17, 18 brothers and a couple sisters in a little group that I got, little chat that I put together. Me and my guy Frank, we work in IT security, and some people that have been teetering in IT security, but we're in what they call identity and access management. So we're kind of homing them into, kind of putting themselves there. Because CyberArk, which is the product we work on, these folks are calling every day, all day, every day. And I'm like, shoot, with if you got some IT in you, you know what I mean, you can maneuver around and do some support and kind of understand installation of certain components, et cetera. Then I'm like, it's easily from 80,000 to 100. You know what I mean? Easily for you to get into that range. So we've been kind of working with these brothers and kind of guide them, because most people, they don't look at they look at IT and they look at certain things. A lot of people get stuck in the support roles. You got some people thinking about coding, but they never look at the security, IT security, which is gonna always be there. You know what I mean? And the banks is going crazy trying to hire folks. So yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Thank y'all for coming through, man, and blessing the show. You know what I mean? We'll have this thing edited and to be out, on the YouTube and on Facebook. It's already on X Squad Radio. And after we're done, it'll be on all the different platforms: iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Odyssey, all the different places where you find great podcasts. So thank y'all. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for kicking it with KC. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate
my
you.
man. All right, man.
All right, Asia. All right.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Bye. It's nice meeting you.
Thank y'all.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Nice
you.
meeting you all. All right, bye.
All right. See you later. All right.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Mo Cheese, aka Grits. You can usually catch me on Sundays with fish and grits, or you can catch me kicking on the country roads. But right now I'm on Tiger Park on X Squad Radio.
Yo, this is your boy D Records from South Central, and you are tuned in to the Tiger Park Show. Yeah, man. This is your boy D Records from South Central, and you tuned into X Squad Radio Network. Yeah, man.
X Squad Radio. Squad Radio. Squad Radio.
Feels so good to be me. Hope it feels good to be you.
It feels so good to be young. It feels so good to be free. It feels so good to be fly. It feels so good to be me. It feels so good to be young. It feels so good to be free. It feels so good to be fly. Feels so good to be me.
I woke up about 10 o'clock in the morning. Gave myself a stretch up, I'm on the yawning. Put on my black Levi's and black Jordans. This G-code shit be so important. Shine so bright you can't ignore it. Some lames will kill and maim for it. And the black on black whip that's foreign. We don't call it riding, we call it touring. Haters, got another name for you. Envy, but I still remain cordial. Cause I would really hate for the 442. Pop your ear out like an inner tube. May I remind you, I am a felon who caught a lot of cases over attitude. I'd rather cop haze and get high with it. Get paid and stay fly with it. You know why?
It feels so good to be young. It feels so good to be free. It feels so good to be fly. It feels so good to be me. It feels so good to be young. It feels so good to be free. It feels so good to be fly. Feels so good to be me.
I take a shower, get dressed for the evening. Low button up, True Religion jeans in. I take a sip and hit the piff and get the leanin'. Back up in that Batmobile, gleaming. Hit up the happy hour spot for a drink then. Hit up my thugs and hit the club that we frequent. And hopefully I'll find a hottie I can freak with. Or two, one black, one Puerto Rican. Skip the line on my VIP shit. It's seen a dime that I think I'm a creep with. It's in the eyes, she minds, I can see it. In the switch of a hip high cheek sit. A couple shots of Patron, two-stepping them gone. Licking and shorty, like we going home. Splash on them and I can't complain. Take a picture, I'm doing my thing. And you know what?
It feels so good to be young. It feels so good to be free. It feels so good to be fly. It feels so good to be me. It feels so good to be young. It feels so good to be free. It feels so good to be fly. Feels so good to be me.
It feels so good to be young. And it feels so good to be free. And it feels so good to be fly.
X Squad Radio. Squad Radio.